Hello, hello, and welcome to Astrology in Bed with me, Shantae out loud. Just kidding. This is just me feeling lazy. I actually wanted to try a new blush lip color combo out. And since I had my makeup on, I decided to do this video. So before we get started, I always like to get into me a little bit. I'm Shantae, go by Shantae out loud, 12-year astrologer, 5 years in business practice. If you want to know more about what I do, how I do it, visit shantaeoutloud.com, visit patreon.com/shantaeoutloud. These are some of the ways that you can connect with me if you really like this. I am also hosting a sale right now. It'll be $30 to just go through the astrology for the upcoming Aries full moon. This is a 2-day sale. So email me, get in my contacts on shantaeoutloud.com if you really want one, but that's what I have to say about that. So when I think about this Aries full moon, I have to go all the way back to April 20th, 2023. And for those of you who don't know, whenever I say go back to something, the easiest way to do this is to look through your screenshots. For others of you, you might find that you want to look through, your text messages. Maybe you want to look through your emails. Maybe you are a journaler, so you have journal entries from that time. Any of these things are great reasons for you to choose to embark on taking a look at exactly what has transpired during that time. And a lot of this is because astrology is a cycle. And during that 420 new moon in Aries, we were getting our first dose of what a eclipse in Aries and Libra was going to look like. As we end and come near the end of this eclipse, because it's October 14th 2024 when I'm recording this, we are literally like 3 months away. January 11th, 2025, the nodes will move into Pisces and Virgo officially. We will still have a couple more Aries Libra eclipses, but the heavy hitters are going to be done in that sign. This is kind of your grand wrap up. And when we start knowing that 420 2023 was a new moon, we have to think back to what we were maybe initiating then. What was on our mind? Where were we placing our energy? How were we feeling about things? What was going on in our lives and surrounding us during the period that this Aries new moon took place in 2023? What was going on? What were we dealing with? What were we going through? Now that we're in October and on October 17th, going to have this full moon in Aries that is essentially going to kind of come literally full circle back to that time. What has come up? Now, with new moons being largely about initiations and those initiatory actions, as we're coming into this full moon on Thursday, we're going to be thinking a little bit more closely about what it is that is coming to an end. What have we wrapped up here? What's reaching its culmination? What's reaching its manifestation, right? Because when we think about full moons, we think about like a birth. We think about something finally coming out, coming to a head, coming to an end. So for some of us, we're going to get this opportunity to be rewarded. For some of us, we're going to get some opportunities to kind of we're going to maybe feel or recognize that we didn't get something, or maybe we stopped ourselves from some form of progress. And this is all about us. Okay. This is really important because this is an Aries full moon after all. So we are talking about Mars. We are talking about the actions that we take for ourselves or that we don't take. And we are going to need to be coming to terms with them, especially because this is a cardinal full moon in a cardinal sign Aries, and Mars is in Cancer in a cardinal sign in detriment. So this full moon is ruled by a detrimented Mars. And so we're going to take a look at what that means. I'm going to share my screen. Oh, I haven't even recorded that. Oh, I have. Sorry. Okay. So this is the chart for the upcoming Aries full moon. So like I said, I really love showing these to you guys because I see them as opportunities for you to grow your own astrological knowledge and actually start taking a look at what the charts are saying about the astrology showing up on a collective level, and then start looking at like your own charts versus these charts. So I want to start off by recognizing that first of all, this cycle of eclipses has been largely in mutable signs. So a lot of this energy has found itself in the succedent houses. So if you have Pisces, Virgo, Sagittarius, or Gemini rising, you've been dealing with a lot of this energy in the succedent houses of your chart. So this is house 2, 5, 8, and 11. These are areas of the chart that represent values, income, intake, outgo, debt, communities, goals, visions, entertainment, abundance. There's a lot that happens in these houses. So this is what the chart is starting off with. And so when we're thinking about this astrology, I want to get back to the moon being ruled by a detrimented Mars. So there's this focus here. Whenever the moon and Mars kind of come together, they feel super different, right? We think of Mars, we think masculine energy a lot of time. We think moon, we think feminine energy. That in and of itself is different on, or it exists on opposite sides of the spectrum. So with the moon in Aries, we're feeling ready to move. We're feeling ready to take action. But because the Mars and Cancer energy is there, there could be some needs to take action in spite of, as an act of resentment, as an act of rebellion. You want to disrupt the status quo as it's known amongst the people who you surround. And so this can be good or bad, right? Sometimes we have to be the disruptors of things, especially when they are causing harm to other people. Sometimes we have to learn how to play the long game, which is super anti Moon and Aries, and much more Mars and Cancer energy, of understanding that sometimes you do have to wait. Sometimes you do have to be patient in order to get things done. Sometimes you do have to commit to a process in order to have things manifest in the way that you want them to. And so, what we're feeling here, in some cases, some of us could be feeling rather stuck, like, oh, we're still not past maybe a certain lesson, right? Because we're talking about this, if we're thinking about this energy of moon in the eighth house, this has a lot to do with our inner transformation. This has a lot to do with our womb, and themes surrounding womb, the women in our lives. Maybe there's some psychological healing that is inner work that needs to be done in order for us to reach where we're trying to get towards our goals, in order for us to reach the communities we're supposed to be a part of, in order for us to get to the future. And so maybe during this full moon, you recognize that you haven't taken all the steps that you need to take to get yourself there. Maybe during this full moon, you're like, damn, I've been kind of taking it slow, but I could actually elevate. I could go a little higher. I could do a little more for myself. So, this is really the challenge for yourself, to step out of your comfort zones and kind of stop being afraid of your own energy, stop being afraid of your own potential, and make your potential your reality. Stop downplaying, stop letting other things distract you emotionally, stop being so reactive to minor setbacks. Me and my friend were talking about this recently, but the importance of like understanding when you're learning something that sometimes it's going to come with frustration, and that you're not supposed to just give up, right? Like I was actually talking about this in reference to like teaching astrology to people. I want to teach astrology, but I do know that it's really, I don't know if I know how to support people through uh, when they're learning, and hit a point of frustration when they're learning this type of stuff. And so the Aries moon energy is like, well, throw it away. It's not working, throw it out, right? And the Cancer moon or the Cancer Mars energy is like, is that really going to help you in the long run? So this Aries full moon could show you cutting ties with things that are not going to help you in the long run, that are not going to help you get to where you're trying to go, that aren't going to help you reach the emotional satisfaction that you're seeking because you're standing in your own way due to impulsivity, due to, ego is going to be a big part of this. Like this energy is not super easy. And remind you, like this is happening and we still have the sun opposite the moon, right? With the Libra sun. So we're really thinking about how we're supposed to show up. Sometimes this Libra sun energy, if we're taking this as being like goals or needing to transform, it's like, but I'm supposed to be this. Libra energy is like performing, right? But I was supposed to be this way. In order to be accepted, I need to be this. In order to accept, I need to be that. And what it's leading to is imbalances and maybe even indifference because you feel like if you're not doing it this way, you're not doing it right. If you're not doing it that way, you're not doing it right. Because you maybe have decided there's no space for you, no space is appearing. You're trying to be and fit into a mold that is not authentic to who you are. The second house is about our gifts. And so, partially, some of the things that you're going to need to overcome are going to have to do with accepting your gifts, accepting what you're here to do, accepting where you want to go next, and maybe what you need in order to get there. Especially when I think of this second house Libra energy, it's like stop fronting a little bit. If you need to pick up the second job to fund the career or the dreams or the trip, you want to be a travel blogger, but you can't afford to travel on your current salary, maybe there needs to be another option. Maybe you need to start looking for other ways to make money that are practical so you can make this a reality, right? Maybe, especially with Libra, something people sleep on with Libra is research, baby. Libra is excels at research. Sometimes you're going to need to research. You're going to need to kind of go the extra mile to enlighten yourself. Where do you need to go the extra mile to get the thing that you say you want, to experience the thing you say you want, right? Where are you going to need to pick up the pieces? If we're thinking of this chart in particular as this story, to me, it's like, hey, I need to recognize my talents, take a look at what my values are and what really matters to me and what really resonates with me. See what I've got, what I've been given, right? See what maybe what I've been given within me that needs to transform, that's dealing with shame, hurt, maybe holding on to some of these things, especially on a familial level, that's maybe blocking me from getting the abundance, the long-term goals, the ideas, the communities, the groups, the future that I see for myself. It really energetically, this wants you to take stock. And if we're going back to 420, 2023, did you do the things you said you wanted to do? Did you try the things you said you wanted to try? Have you experienced the things you said you wanted to experience? Other things about this full moon that I really like. Let's look at this ascendant here in Virgo, making a perfect sextile to Mars in Cancer. So this is like whenever I see the ascendant and Mars coming together, this is an opportunity for us to cut out, especially here, first and 11th energy. Hey, what do I need to cut out in my goals? What do I need to maybe challenge myself with regard to knowledge, community that's going to get me to be the future me that I say I want to be? Maybe I need to join the gym, right? Maybe I need to join the club, the religion, the group wherever and whatever that might be, in order to say and be where I want to be, right? Then this energy is also, this ascendant, it has its squares to the midheaven and Jupiter here. So ascendant square midheaven and Jupiter, interesting. This is you getting to choose how you want to be seen. And I always say to you guys, Mercury in the 10th house means you're here to do two jobs, right? So when we have Mercury and Mercury, figuring out how to do both of those jobs in a way that is balanced and doesn't take away from your own needs and needing, but is also supportive and helpful and maybe is relatable to other people. That's a big one for you. Um, as you see, Mars is squaring Chiron. To me, when I see Mars and Chiron come together, it's like, how long are you going to cry about that thing? How long are you going to carry that thing as a crutch? How long are you going to allow that pain to keep you stuck in a loop that is not moving you forward? Especially with Mars in Cancer, it's almost like, how long are you willing to hold on to that childhood resentment? Maybe against a parent, maybe against a childhood bully, maybe against yourself, you know? Maybe there's something that you thought you were supposed to do or that you were so sure you were going to pursue and you didn't do it. And now you have this energy towards yourself that is like not very kind. It's like, get over it already. Make a move to get over it, even more than that. Because Chiron in Aries wants to like figure out how to move past this point of pain. And Mars in Cancer says, well, emotionally process it, bitch. Cry it out, be angry, find a place that's safe. Maybe you need to take a boxing class for a little while. Maybe you need to go to a room where you can break a bunch of shit. Maybe you need to write a 4-page letter where you're really angry. But you need to find a way to let this out that doesn't even necessarily need to involve other people. Like, this is for you, right? It's an Aries full moon. Don't be so caught up on like this part of needing to be like, I need to confront them. Like, no, you need to confront yourself. You need to confront yourself and your own energy and figure out how you want to present going forward. We've got the moon and Chiron sextiling Jupiter in the midheaven. So it could be that your struggles tell a story that is so relatable to so many people. Your transformation puts you exactly where you need to be in the world. Your pain can be transcribed into something that others resonate with across many generations and many lands. I'm thinking of one of my friends who has some of these placements, and I'm like, they're writing, and it's like, it makes so much sense. Hope you see this. But this is the energy of this. Look, we've got even the sun trine Jupiter, sun trine midheaven. Get out there, get out of your way, go be seen. If you can do the emotional processing and stop allowing yourself to be like, oh, I'm just never going to be good enough. Oh, this story is always just going to be my story. It's never going to, there's never going to be a happy ending in my story. Like, okay, but you have a better choice to make. You can start showing up as your most authentic self. Like, for especially if any of this, for some of you, this, it has to do with relationship energy. Like, If you have fucked up in relationships, let it go. We've all fucked up in relationships. Get to the root of why that happened, where you were lacking emotionally, what you maybe needed emotionally. Make a pact with yourself not to do that again and get fucking moving forward. Find that person if you can and work it out if they're open to it. But other than that, like, you got to move on and let it go. You do not have to keep continuing down the line of this story where you're undervalued, where you're playing games for other people, where you're being whoever others need you to be. I'm circling that Libra sun for a reason, especially with this Virgo rising. You don't need to do that. You get to show up as who you are. Um, of course, we can't end this without discussing Venus sextile Pluto. Oh, magnificent. Mwah, 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 mwah. Especially between Capricorn and Scorpio. It's so grown up. It's so sexy. It's third and fifth house energy, which means it is ripe for manifesting and bringing things into being. Venus in Scorpio at 29 degrees saying, please give me the light of abundance. Pluto and Capricorn making it happen. This can be a very important time for you for striking a deal. For here's what happens when you don't give up on yourself. Here's what happened when what happens when you take the leap and take a chance. This is so nice. And it's still opposite Uranus. It doesn't have to be so bad. It can be you taking a chance and believing that you can make things happen, putting it out there. You know, where this full moon, we're not in eclipse energy. This is and could be a perfect time if you've been trying to manifest something. You've been wanting to achieve something, you've been wanting to put something out in the universe. This is the full moon for you to start getting back to work. Get back in your magic bag, get back in your affirmation bag. So, there you have it. I don't really have anything else to add. I think that does it for all the aspects. You know, there's a lot that you get to direct this full moon. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.